And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. It's a snack pack, everyone. I said I would come back on Wednesday night after I left my very uncryptic message on our channel. It's Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for joining us right here from Gerald Glassford right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, go ahead and check it out when you get the chance, because we talk about Taylor Swift's domination of the charts and also the box office charts as well. Plus, we talk about The Rock's latest movie that getting him acclaim, but unfortunately did not give him very much as far as the box office is concerned. Plus, Josh Peterson, my cohort in crime, one of the many cohorts in crime that I have on the Pop Culture Cosmos, he wants to go ahead and share some words with you on what he thinks is going on with the Xbox deal. And also, we preview Battlefield 6. That's coming up later this week. So hopefully the reviews will start rolling in pretty soon, because it's right around the corner. Are you ready for some Battlefield? Go ahead and let us know. But yes, that's what's on the latest Pop Culture Cosmos indeed. Also want to give a big shout out to my man over here, Drip Show. That's right. If you want something really good looking like this, look at this canvas art. Doesn't this pop out to you, Lakers fans? If you want something like that, or the Dodgers to help cheer you up after the Dodgers lost today, but still up 2-1 in the series so far. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that they can go ahead and finish the job on game 4. But if you want something like that, outstanding canvas art, a hat like Joe has, t-shirt, a pillow like John Costa has, or more, if you have an idea that you want put into some type of product, go ahead, follow at Drip Show Shop on Twitter and Instagram. You message him and let him know what your desire is, and he may be able to make it happen for you right there at Drip Show. So go ahead, make sure you take care of Drip Show. He just does a great job. Look at that quality right there. And you can have that quality too from the Drip Show Shop, indeed. But also as well, of course, our good friends, of course, Joe Soro, hopefully will come on by, because I know he was all not happy. A lot of the guys that are behind the scenes here at the show or that come on in person were kind of upset about what went on with the second decision. So hopefully he'll step on by. He is also, of course, the guy behind Simblades, Simblades.com. Also as well, of course, the Joe Soro experiment, which Vari does a great job monitoring as far as on playback.tv/the Joe Soro experiment, or the Lakers Fast Break, where we go ahead and show the Lakers games there as well. So go ahead, make sure you check out that. But Joe Soro also has his YouTube channel, the Joe Soro Experiment, Empire Jeff TV, at Alfred Esmond on Twitter. And I recently had a chance to talk with Alfred about the Orlando Magic as part of our series of NBA team previews. And if you're a member for just $2.99 a month, you can hear my conversation right after the show. It's already there waiting for you about the Orlando Magic, but also as well all the great team previews I've dropped. Go ahead and check them out today. It's all over the channel, guys. It's really something I worked hard on for you to get you extra content. I'm talking to people all around the world that cover these NBA teams. And also, I got a special treat for you as well later on the back end on who covered the Eastern Conference. You may know him as well if you watch all those YouTube sports channels. I got someone special in mind that I spoke to about the Eastern Conference. So hopefully you guys will check out these series of videos right there for you right here at the Lakers Fast Break. And if you want to get them a day earlier, become a member today for just $2.99 a month indeed. Yeah, I got to get to those emojis. I got to update those emojis for the season. I know. I'll get to it. I'll try. I will do my best for our members indeed. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break, whether we're ranting on LeBron James or we're coming at you with our world famous post games. You get it all right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Hopefully the Lakerholics will come back this weekend. We'll see what happens there, but stop by the Lakerholics.com site as well. Yes, Gregory, you're right. Ohtani strikes out way too much, but I think you could pretty much say that about any major leaguer at this point in time because it's not the baseball I've been used to for most of my life, where you had many individuals in the sport that would just emphasize contact on the ball. 270, 280, 290, 300, 320, 330 batters were much more commonplace, in the eras that I was mainly following baseball. And now it just seems like if it's not a home run, it's a strikeout, and it's many strikeouts. And it just seems like contact on the ball seems like something that's not as encouraged in the world of baseball. It's either you get a massive hit or you get nothing at all. We saw that today with the Philadelphia Phillies dominating the Los Angeles Dodgers today. Clayton Kershaw, man, that guy cannot find any luck at all in the postseason, even as a relief pitcher. So just a disappointing return for the Dodgers today, but hopefully they'll get back in gear in their next game coming up in game 4. So hopefully we will go ahead and bring that to you as well on playback.tv/ of course, the Joe Soro experiment. And big shout out also as well to the Aces, Las Vegas Aces. They're up 3-0. What a shot by Aja Wilson with 0.3 seconds left on the game. So yes, game 4 is on Friday. Will they finish it out? We will wait and see. But yes, big shout out to the Aces. And then also, one last thing before we get into it. I've been meaning to go ahead and say it. For my longtime followers and listeners and viewers, if you are familiar with listening to us, even back from the beginning, and especially around COVID, you know I did a ton of shows and actually did an entire playoff series, the 2020 playoff series, with my good friend and just a truly hardworking individual, Rafael Barlow. Well, if you haven't heard the news, he posted it to his social media last week. His dream is finally coming true. After so many years of putting so much energy into the draft and being one of the leading draft experts, of course, our own Stone Hansen does a tremendous job as well. He announced that he has accepted a position as the international scout for the Dallas Mavericks. He has been wanting to get into the NBA for a long time, and I'm truly happy for him. I wanted to mention that he did serve in a, I don't know, did you say unpaid? I don't remember exactly. Was it unpaid intern, or he had a low-level position with the Clippers at one point in time, and it wasn't for him at that time. But he's always been trying to get back into the league. He's worked his butt off, doing different things as far as within the realm of podcasting, which he, hopefully he, I was there with him in the early days for, and hopefully he'll always be a good part of that. But yes, podcasting, reporting, doing his newsletter, doing all the good things. He had all the stuff that he did for YouTube, and look, it's paid off for him with the job with the Dallas Mavericks. So congratulations, Rafael Barlow. You truly deserve it, my friend. Someone who does not deserve congratulations, however, is LeBron James. 805, what's going on? Truly appreciate being here. What's up, Mark? If you want to, I gave you a link, man. Step on board if you can. You want to go ahead and rant and share your thoughts on what you saw yesterday. Because yesterday, the whole world was geared up for 9 a.m. As far as the announcement that was going to be made, the second decision, so to speak, which is funny, first off, because it was already released before 9 a.m. He said it would be there for 9 a.m. U.S. Pacific time and be announced then, but it was already out. About, in fact, people were sharing it in our mix before 9 a.m. And for those, I was actually on the fence. I didn't know if it was retirement. I didn't know if it was an ad. I didn't know if it was a promotional stunt. I didn't know what it was. I never committed to either, so I didn't actually know what it was. I know that some people were convinced it was an ad. Some people were convinced it was retirement. You heard Joe, you heard Mark, you heard many people on our Monday show. Thank you for watching. It was actually pretty well attended, so you guys get a big shout out for that. Lo and behold, it was an ad for Hennessy vodka. Appreciate it, Legend. Yeah, no worries, my friend. I want you to, you wanted it to be, Legend, a retirement. And Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. It was just a big promotional stunt for Hennessy vodka, and it was very disappointing to see. And it's just absolutely just one of the things that I think that got a lot of people angry across the internet, and I think a lot of people were very upset across the internet, across social media. So much so that one individual who paid $800 for 2 tickets to see for the last Lakers game at home this season has now filed suit against LeBron James and Hennessy because of what happened. A lot of anger out there in social media. A lot of people are really just not happy with all, just absolutely a lack of tact, not reading the room, whatever you want to say. It just was absolutely disappointing what LeBron James did. I just think, again, he thinks he got one on us. It's a joke. Ha ha ha. I'm just going to go with Luca and the team to my Porsche challenge after practice yesterday. Go have some fun, drive my Porsche. Everything's all good. Well, again, there's the rest of us that were left behind in this wake that, changed our schedules, did things to where we just could go ahead and make sure we were there for the announcement of whatever it was. And really was a letdown. It could have been just for something good, even if it wasn't for retirement. It could have been for something positive, for something good, but no, it was for vodka, which I'll never touch, which I'll never drink. I can't stand Hennessy, and I will never drink Hennessy. And now I have even less of a chance of drinking Hennessy because of what you did, LeBron James. I think it was very, very disappointing. 805 Dodgers. What did LeBron do? Well, if you checked out Monday's show, Monday in the afternoon, LeBron made a tweet about a pre-recorded video, him entering a location and going to sit down with somebody to talk about his second decision, 805. And the next day, because after we talked about it and everybody, the entire world thought it was speculating on it, whether it was an ad, whether it was a promo, whether it's retirement, 805, the next day happened, and everybody got to see the full video where it was just a corny and lame and stupid Hennessy vodka video. That's all it was. And it was pretty tasteless, in my opinion. Just absolutely not in good spirits, to pardon the pun there. But yeah, absolutely just disappointing. And he received a lot of flack on that. A lot of anger has gone and been directed towards him and Hennessy. Like I told you, that somebody has filed suit because the prices on Monday, after he made and posted that tweet, that first tweet, prices for the last game at the Lakers for the last home game of the season, which would have been the last game for LeBron James, most people thought, as far as the last regular season game, they skyrocketed. And again, someone purchased it at the scalp price and wants their money back in essence of that. So they're upset about it. So to put a capper on this, at practice yesterday, JJ Redick, who is, again, one of the things that he does very well is he's very brash and he's very boisterous about all what that he wants to talk about. We've had some issues on this show about what he's said in the past on certain things, like for instance, players from previous generations just being nothing more than plumbers and firemen, I believe was the paraphrasing, but I think that was about the correct statement he was making. So yesterday, he said, when asked about the decision, the second decision, the decision 2.0, he said in 4 words to all of us, to the reporters, to all of us who were watching, you guys are idiots. So whether he met the press, whether he met everybody watching, whether he met people like us who were commenting on it, you guys are idiots. Okay, I see how it is. So with that, DBSH, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo, what's up, my friend? It's just not cool. And to add a capper, like I said, JJ's comments, you guys are idiots, which I'm assuming is everybody who bought into the first video of the second decision. Like us, we bought into it. We speculated on it. We took time on it. We made a video about it. We went live and live streamed about it. But I want to hear your thoughts about this as far as what took place and how frustrating it was about two days. I mean, the messaging, and I've talked about this because I was a big LeBron supporter on this show. I would support LeBron. I would defend LeBron. And then time goes on. He puts tweet after tweet, the hourglass tweet, the stuff he did in New York, other stuff as far as the other passive aggressive tweets that he's put out there, the passive aggressive statements that he's put out there. And then there's this. And it's disappointing. It's very disappointing. What's up, Best? How you doing? Hopefully all is well with you. JSJ, you know it's bad when the comments are off. Yes, absolutely. It's terrible because it was disappointing because it takes your I guess it takes the people's love that they have for you for granted. And it just really it hurts because a guy, like for instance, the guy that's suing LeBron and Hennessy, might just, I don't know if it's small claims. I would have to ask Laker Nick on that to know specifically if it's small claims because it's under $1,000. But this meant everything to him. This guy, as far as his appreciation for LeBron James, he could have been a reseller, so he might have resold it, but who knows? But he, let's just say he's a fan. And he's a deep-hearted fan, and he wanted to go ahead and really just catch the last regular season moments of LeBron's career, and to be duped like this, like many of us were out there, it's just truly disappointing. And again, it really hurts to see that that's going on. And again, hopefully Joe will stop by. I know he was on a phone call. Reached out to the guys. I know that Legend is on his way home, so I'll stay online as far as to hear his thoughts on that. But yeah, it's just hurts. And then on top of it, JJ calling, whether it's just reporters or us as in general, idiots. On top of it, you're not reading the room. You're not understanding that there's a lot of vitriol right now at LeBron James and Hennessy, and then to add on top of it, it's fuel onto the fire, and it's disappointing to say the least. I mean, they had fun yesterday. He did his, he posted out there, he laughed about it, and then he went with Luka and the rest of the team to their Porsche challenge, which is great team building thing. I will give Luka credit for that. Luka set up a Porsche challenge, much like Gabe Vincent last month. He just talked about his day, did a spike ball volleyball challenge. He ran on the beach, stuff like that with the guys in the team as a team building thing. But yesterday they did a team building thing as far as the Porsche challenge that nearby El Segundo that Luka had set up and for the guys. And, that's great. That's really heartwarming. It's really good to see them. If doing time you do bowling or other stuff, other sports, just activities they do together, it helps build that type of camaraderie. Good, that's absolutely correct. And I'm sure they were all laughing about it, all while they're driving the Porsches around and around the track. But what about us? What about the fans that support this team, the fans that support LeBron, the fans that support everyone out there that puts on the purple and gold? What do you say to them? No apologies. No consideration for us. Hey, look, Hennessy asked me to do it. They paid me. I did it. They wanted from this angle. I didn't think it would be too offensive. I thought it was just in jest, just a joke. Lighten up, everyone. I'm sorry. No, you don't get that either. You get nothing from LeBron except for laugh and a chuckle. And then, of course, you get from JJ, you guys are idiots. You guys are idiots. Yes, I know I'm reiterating that, but it rubs me the wrong way. Curtis Fair has it all up. right here. What's up, Kurt? You guys are idiots. We all knew it was an ad, right? Nobody was freaking out. Well, there were quite a few. If you watch this show, there were quite a few that were freaking out in both positive and negative ways. As far as some, concerned that it really was his retirement, and then of course Joe, Mark, Legend, others that were just okay. We want it to be a retirement. We want to move on from this, and there you go. It's just disappointing. 805 says, should LeBron be arrested? No, I don't think he should be arrested. I don't think he can be arrested, although times are strange, 805. But I don't think they're that strange yet. Gregory says, JJ and Braun are both idiots. How did it make you feel, Gregory? I want to start with you, Gregory, while I'm waiting for some of the guys to pop on the air. How did it feel to you when you saw that second video and then you heard JJ's comments on top of it? That's what I want to hear from you guys out there. How did it make you feel? Did it feel like a slap in the face? Because it did to me. I had a plan to show, even if LeBron wasn't going to do anything. But seeing both those things happen, it's felt like a slap in the face to me as a Lakers fan, as someone who does Lakers stuff all year round, who does over 250 to 300 Laker related video or audio things on a every year basis around the Lakers. It kind of felt like a slap in the face to me. And I know that the other guys in the Lakers bubble, the reporters, they can't really go and say how they feel about it. They can't really express their feelings because they're worried about losing their press passes and all that stuff. But I don't have a Lakers press pass, so I can say what I feel. And I felt really hurt yesterday. I felt really betrayed. And like I said, I did not think one way or the other. I was really on the fence on whether or not it was going to be a retirement run, because he just seemed like his MO that he would do something like that for his retirement, as far as a pre-tape video, et cetera, et cetera. But it also seemed like the way it was set up, it looked like possibly it could be an ad. So I didn't know. And you heard me on the show. I was leading it to other people because I didn't really have an opinion myself on it, because I couldn't decide whether 100% whether I wanted it to be it or not. So with that said, I just want to know how you guys feel about this. And Gregory, appreciate it, my friend. You sharing your thoughts. I didn't appreciate how they got everybody worked up for a damn ad. Yeah, you're right. You're 100%. You're 100%. And Gregory says, I want Braun gone so bad. Well, we got another year. It could be more if they want to go ahead and work something out. But as of now, there's no retirement in sight. 805 says, where's Joe? He said he was going to be on a call, but he was going to try and see if he could still hop on to discuss this. John didn't reply back to me on that, but I'm hoping to get some of the guys on here. Mark, I'd love to hear your thoughts if you're out of work, and maybe just stop, bashing Vari for a second. Or Vari, you want to hop on? I sent you. Did I send you the link? If I didn't, I'll send it to you, my friend. And Vari, if you want to jump on and share your thoughts as well. But yeah, I want to hear your guys' thoughts, because it irked me, and this lasted for a while. I don't know why this hurt me. Not hurt me, but it kind of irked me. I think irked is the best thing I could say. It irked me all day. I changed my schedule. I'm usually, to be quite honest with you, I'm around. I go and do some things like very early morning, even though I work late sometimes on this show. It's channel like that till late at night. I still have to do things early in the morning. Then I get to be 9 o'clock. I try to get an hour of sleep, hour and a half sleep. And he ruined it for me. Like, just irked me all day. And it felt bad. I don't want to say betrayed. I just felt irked. And that's why I didn't do a show yesterday. So I do apologize to you guys out there, but we're doing one now. And here today to go ahead and talk about this, a guy who at the very end of his day, at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, came on this show to share his thoughts because he wanted to, and he was hoping that the LeBron era was going to have an end date and a due date already. And that didn't happen. It is my good friend, the I Got Net Sports Media Channel master himself. It is Legend and Legend. Great to have you here. I want to go ahead and hear your thoughts. You've had, I'm glad I didn't get an instant reaction from all of us here because it probably would have been filled with expletives, even myself, which people would be like, oh, yes, absolutely. I think I probably would have put something out there I probably wouldn't have liked. So I probably would have said things I probably would have, maybe that wasn't the best thing to say. But Legend, I want to hear your thoughts. Gregory in the chat opened up, and I really appreciate his opening up. These guys are also in the chat are sharing their thoughts as well. Let me know your thoughts, my friend. When you saw that on Twitter, by the way, it was already out there in the wild before 9 a.m. So he even thought about that too, which irked me even more because it said 9 a.m. U.S. Pacific time, 12 p.m. noon Eastern, and he put it out there before, and it would piss me off even more. So, with that said, let me know your thoughts on how you felt going into that, the time you took in watching this thing, and what you felt like when it was all done.
Well, first I want to say what's up to Xbox, Kurt. What's up, guys? And 805, I was drinking the Pepsi, so I can stay awake a little bit. But my reaction to the whole thing. Thank God I was with my seniors because I was taking them on a college trip, so I couldn't show my anger. I was with the kids, so I was like, I gotta stay professional. I can't let my anger slip out. But like Gerald said, part of good we didn't do nothing yesterday because I would have had my emotions still shown. But now I had a chance to kind of calm down a little bit. That was the corniest thing I have ever seen somebody do, and it just you could have did an ad. You could have literally just did a post on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook and call it a day. To do all that, I totally agree with Stephen. That was just attention seeking, cringy, over. It's just everything in the book. It's just like LeBron. You are the second. I'm sorry, John. He is the second greatest all time player, bro. You don't have to do all this. What was this for? People was going to react to that, whatever you say, no matter what. Anyway, it's almost like he was trying to make sure I got the whole world attention. And well, you did, but you didn't have to do that. I'm telling you, no matter what you say on Twitter, you could probably say I passed gas, and everybody in the world gonna look at your post, literally. So it's like you didn't have to do none of this, man. And a lot of ticket prices did jump up within a couple of hours, and so I can't blame that guy that want to sue because you and the NBA basically took advantage of people and made them pay more money for a ticket they probably didn't have to pay. So I can't blame that guy for wanting to sue. So it's like I've never been a big fan of LeBron, but it makes me really don't like you even more now. It really makes me look forward to the day you are gone because I salute y'all Laker fans for dealing with this guy for this many years. I couldn't do it. I can't do it. It's the same shenanigans every single year, and then like this year he just took it to another level. So it's just like it's ridiculous. And then and JJ, bro, I know you can't call him an idiot. You the same man that ran 5 men in the ground. Ain't nobody never did nothing like that. So you can't call him an idiot. You won that trophy off of doing that. So that's the last person want to talk. I'm like, bro, come on. If LeBron want to get you fired today, he'll have you fired today. So you can't really say much to us. But I'm like Gerald. I ain't got to worry about losing my credentials, so I can say what I want to say. Them other reporters, I understand for them because that's your job. But LeBron, you wrong for that one, man. That was childish, man. Like, come on, bro. If I'm Bronny, I'll be mad at you too for taking my birthday moment away just for some ad, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's ridiculous.
It is, and and Anthony, your post on you said those ticket prices are his last game with the Lakers at least because the Lakers aren't paying him $50 million if he wants to stay on another year. It had me thinking that if more people add on to, because it is a legitimate lawsuit. If you guys want to look it out there, it is a legitimate lawsuit. Somebody has filed suit against LeBron James and Hennessy. It might be stronger if more people get involved with that and that becomes a class action. Just saying.
You probably wouldn't own that bought a ticket.
Yes. Even if it's resellers, guys who bought it like $200 or $300 and it went up even, who were looking to unload it for $500 or $600 or maybe even $1,000 like as it got closer to that. Those guys too, they got burned. So I'm not going to say don't be surprised if it goes class action, guys, but there might be another person or two that might have something to say about that. And that's all. Bloodhound says the case will get thrown out of court. Probably, but
Probably.
People are mad. People are emotional. It's very, it's very volatile right now. Still, a lot of people are still speaking out against it. And you're right, Bloodhound. It'll probably get thrown out of court just because of the fact, hey, you paid them at those prices. You know what? You'll get a game. You'll get tickets to a game. It didn't say nothing about LeBron's retirement. So most likely, like you said, that case will probably be tossed. And I don't think Hennessy and LeBron are really worried about it. But yeah, it's just the point. Read the room, LeBron. You've had this history of doing these type of really gimmicky things, the passive aggressive things, and just you laugh it off because you're sheltered, your own bubble. That's fine, but understand what this does to millions. Understand what you put millions of people. The LeBron super fans, the LeBron's, sexuals or whatever they call them.
They get taken advantage so often.
Yeah. How do you think? I really feel bad for those people. I mean, there's you, there's Joe, there's Mark, there's all the people who say, oh yeah, he's going to be retiring. He's going to be retiring. Yes, I do feel bad for you guys. I feel bad for me who got played along with this as well. But I mostly feel bad for the LeBron supporters that, from all around the world, whether it's in the Philippines, whether it's in Japan, Korea, Europe, South America, wherever LeBron supporters are at, that bought into this. And I don't think we haven't had any real huge LeBron supporters here in the past couple of days or whatnot. But I was really like to hear from you guys if you felt it, something out of this negative in all this, or if you just say, it's just LeBron. He was just kidding. It's all a joke. You guys move on and whatnot. Because I know there's going to be some that are always going to support him. But this is just not good. This is just not a good look. I mean, and there's a lot of people that are upset right now over this, and it's just not. It's about goodwill to the fans right now. We as a fan base, as a country, as a world, we need goodwill, and people just doing these type of things that just laugh in our faces. It just helps keep spreading bad will around, and it just keeps spreading this volatility around. And it's just not good for anyone. And to do this, it just was a bad move. And I hope people just throw away their Hennessy bottles in disgust, or when they go to Costco, they buy Captain Morgan or something else in protest of that, because it's just bad. It's just bad. But again, it's your choice. If you want to do it, your choice if you don't. But to add on top of everything else, Legend, saying you guys are idiots by JJ Redick. That was really just the icing on the cake. That was the cherry on top of this whole Sunday, was him saying that on top of it, making me feel and making a lot of other people feel like dirt, really feeling like dirt because of this. And I know we shouldn't take too much into it, but again, Legend, you cover sports on a daily basis on your channel. I Got Next Sports Media. You have to follow sports 365 days a year. I have to follow the Lakers and the sports world for 365 days a year. I have put 15, 17 hours, Legend, in the interviews I did with you and people from all around the world to set up for this channel to talk about their teams and the Lakers. I put a lot of effort into this. I feel that the Lakers should give me something back in return. I feel that LeBron should at least give us respect in return. And I just feel like after Monday, what happened, what he reported on, and then what happened Tuesday, I just feel, Legend, like he spit in my face.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. And even though I'm not a LeBron fan, I kind of feel that way as just an NBA fan in general, because I feel like he kind of took the NBA fans for a spin around the block, basically. And to him, it's probably like they're probably overreacting. They're taking it too serious, but you don't realize that a lot of people really thought you was going to retire, man, because you at that age. So it's hard, it's easy to believe at this point. You made it look like you really was going to do it. And I'm like you, Gerald, I feel bad for the LeBron fans, for the real loyalists who like 100% all LeBron. He taking them folks for a real loop. And I feel bad for them because they probably the ones who really bought the tickets, trying to watch him play the final game. And then the part, Jared, I'm gonna really tell you, I noticed the ticket prices shot up too, because I looked at the Atlanta tickets when they come to Atlanta just to see that it go up. I saw that price. Like I saw in the middle of the arena was like maybe in the mid 300s. As soon as that came out, an hour later, it was like 450, 470. It just jumped up like $100, $200 worth. So I can see how people who paid them tickets are mad. So this is like it's a spit in the face of the NBA community. And I know LeBron ain't gonna do it, but you really should come out here and be like, I apologize for having y'all believe in I was gonna retire. At least been right. This is a quick 10-second video saying my bad. I didn't mean to have y'all feel that way.
And I think you're right. You pointed out something even more to this was not just the effect of what that last game at crypto, the prices going up. Every road arena, as far as on the East Coast, on the Eastern Conference, like you said, they probably all went up against the Lakers because they all thought it could be the last time that they see LeBron play in a regular season uniform. Or the last game that they played on the road against a Western Conference team. Those prices may have gone up as well. So it could have had a residual effect. Like I said, it already did in Atlanta, and it could have had in several other NBA teams as well. So there is a residual effect to all this stuff like that. So yes, Bloodhound, while it would still probably be thrown out of court, again, the NBA has a image problem, especially right now with the cheating. Well, I'm sorry, alleged circumvention of the cap scenario going on with the Clippers. It really needs all the goodwill and that they can get, and to have something like this, it just says that they know you're going to come and watch. They know you're going to go ahead and watch us anyways. They don't care how many times they piss you off. You're just going to come back for more and more and more, Legend.
That's pretty much what's gonna happen. And JJ just made it worse. The same. Sometimes I actually wonder, did JJ think before you talk in these interviews? Because he just say some random stuff that's very questionable.
Yeah. It's very disappointing because like I said, when he said that on top of it, I was just like, I'm done for the day. I'm done for the day.
Yep.
I'm gonna post my guys. I'm not gonna come on today. Just gonna go on Wednesday. Gonna just deal with it accordingly and move on. Because it really is disappointing when a team that you support from birth, Legend, from birth. I was born a block and a half away from the Los Angeles Forum during the 1969 NBA Finals, I believe. And I've been a Lakers fan from day one, and they do this to me. You see all the Lakers jerseys behind me. You see the excellent and the totally awesome drip show canvas art for Kobe, and you do this to me. And you do this to the fan base. You do, and I'm not even, like I said, there's people who spend thousands, tens of thousands on Lakers paraphernalia, Lakers support. They buy tickets, they go to these games, and many of them were probably believing the same thing, that this could be the end of the career, the end of the line for LeBron James. And what does that say to them? Those guys or guys and gals or families, individuals all around the world that spend real money, spend a lot of money on Lakers stuff and Lakers support and this sort of thing. They spend thousands sometimes just to support on television. That's what you're going to need now, is hundreds of dollars as far as for all the streaming services and what you need between Amazon and Peacock and everything else. And again, all the things that you do to support your team, and it just seems like, again, just a slap in the face. And on top of it, JJ's laughing it off and calling us idiots. It really, really is just. It's not what we needed right now, Legend. Not what we need. It's just so hard to get yourself motivated to continue following the team as close as I do, because it just really, really just. Gets you right in the side right there. It's like a shiv, just like right there in the ribs. Legend.
It really do, and it's just a big like slap in the face. And LeBron did a lot of crazy things his whole career, but this to me had to be like up at the very top as just the dumbest thing he has ever done. Like this got to be one of the biggest disrespect that he has done to not just his own fan base, but the entire NBA world. So you guys in the audience, I even look at y'all too. You can't let LeBron do you guys like that, man. Like, ain't nothing wrong with support your squad and all, but this is a slap in the face. Like, this like to me the ultimate disrespect. Because come on, you took everybody for a ride on this one. Let alone, I would love to know how many people bought ticket last night when that happened. I would love to know if that actually comes out. But that just like, come on, LeBron. Like, this wasn't a good look, man. You already got a lot of people don't like you. So you just added on to that list pretty much. And to see just about every sport analyst today just destroyed you. We knew Stephen A was gonna do it, but there were a lot of others I was surprised to see call you out. Like, come on, man, this was a bad look. Kind of like Skip Bayless said today. It's just like you're attention seeking, man. How much more attention do you need, man? This is why people want you gone, bro. This is why
this is who he is, though.
Gone.
This is who he is. This is who he is. So, Legend. That's what he wants. He always wants the attention on him. He knows that Luka is the guy now that the focus on going forward. He wants always the attention on him. Remember, it was his son's birthday with that initial video. It was his son's birthday. What's up, cool bro? It was his son's birthday. To do this on your son's birthday, it's like, okay, you're having a party for your son or your daughter, whatnot, and then you end up jumping on top of the table with a lampshade. I don't know, maybe Kurt Affair could go ahead and write in a joke there, right about now. But you know, and do party like that, party wild, and then, oh, I'm sorry, am I taking attention all the way from you on your day? Oh, I'm so sorry. But it just is irritating, and as you can see, it still sticks in my craw as far as how bad of a deal this was. And you think, oh, let's just get over it, Gerald. It's an ad. But there's a lot of people out there that are upset, as I am, about it. Because, again, the fact is, anybody who supports LeBron has to always end up supporting LeBron through and through, but they have to support him through stuff like this. And it just gets harder and harder to support him because he's always seeking the attention and he's always making the wrong move in doing so.
Exactly. It just makes it harder and harder to support him. It gets to the point you'd be like, enough is enough, LeBron. Like I will literally tell to LeBron in his face, you might be the first superstar when you really do retire. You will actually see more people standing up clapping at you gone. You might be the first superstar we actually see that happen. Like, it's just because people are tired of you, man. They're tired of the antics every single offseason. The Clipper logo situation. The stuff coming out about you're not happy about stuff going on between you and management, and now this, and like, bro, people get tired of that every single year, man. We tired of it. I'm glad he didn't come to Golden State. I'm gonna say if he would have came to Golden State, I'm moving off the team until he's young. Cause I can't deal with LeBron, bro. We tired of it, man. That's why people want him gone. This is why people are literally clapping, hoping he was gone. LeBron, you're an amazing ball player, but you were too much of a distraction, man. And I'm really beginning to believe what Skip says is true. I really think you got a problem with Luka being the head, man. I really think you got a problem with him being the man of the ship. I don't really think you don't like it deep, man.
Best league. Now get this. Best, I love you, bro, but you're gonna have to get a little bit of the taste of the diss from me here. Best said, "What attention? It's a promotion. Many players do it." And he said, "I think Kawhi did something like this. Let me search." Okay, did Kawhi announce his intention in a nationally televised decision to take his talents to Toronto? No, that was a trade, if I'm not mistaken. Or that he was going to take his talents to the Los Angeles Clippers. No, that was actually a report that was made. And because I was here in Las Vegas at Summer League when that happened, there was an earthquake that day. It was like an earthquake. And then we found out the news about Kawhi and Paul George. Yes, that was something that was broken by sports outlets. That was not something that was him sitting in front of a camera with Jim Gray in front of a boys club, in front of an audience, with the banner of the boys club. I just saw another picture of it today with the whole thing. Legend remembers this, sitting there with a whole presentation, with a whole intro, and like 30 minutes in, blah, 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 before he finally said, I'm taking my talents to South Beach. No, Kawhi did not, even Kawhi, who wants a private jet, who wanted all the stuff, and all that stuff, illegally, under the table, all that stuff, allegedly. And then what he did with aspiration, or didn't do with aspiration, allegedly. Even he did not have a nationally televised decision before. So, no, that's not correct. Best. Come on. Understand that Legend has been watching the game for a while. Understand they're watching the game for a while. We know this. We've lived through the first decision. So that's why so many of us got sucked up into this as far as the second decision is concerned, because we watched it the first time around. Because he is attention seeking. He is someone who wants the attention always on him, who always wants the spotlight on him. Yes, players promote products every single day. We see it, Legend, from all around the sports world. And God bless them. Get all the money you can. No problem with that. It's how you do it. It's how you read the room, and what the ramifications of it are what we have concerns, or what is the problem here. No, I didn't drop an F-bomb, by the way. No, I would have at 8:05. I would have dropped an F-bomb. Yes, had I gone yesterday, I would have given you that. I would have given you that to yesterday. But no, I haven't dropped an F-bomb on this show yet today. I think I might have dropped an F-bomb before on this channel, but it's quite a bit ago, if I remember correctly. But Legend, before I finally update everyone on what's going on with the Lakers, what happened in practice, yes, they did have their Porsche challenge. That's great. They were driving Porsches all around, as far as they're concerned, with the closed circuit as a team building thing. I talked about that. Again, when JJ is leading these guys and he's telling that to you, I know Darvin Ham also made some offhanded remarks about because of the scrutiny that he was going over as far as it's concerned. He came off with some comments that were very ill-timed and poorly prepared as well during his tenure. But JJ has a habit of doing this even before he stepped in as coach of the Lakers. And my guess is, Legend, is that he'll continue to do it for however long he stays as head coach.
Yeah, I get the feeling this is going to be this is part of JJ. When you hire him, this is just who he is. This type of words gonna have JJ out of a job in a lot of places. Not everybody in the world gonna sit there and accept that. I can say that, and that's why I'm honest to say I'd be surprised how many players. Which just kind of come back to why I'm like, I want to see just how well DeAndre Ayton kind of work with JJ personality. Is he gonna give JJ 100%, or you gonna shut down on him because of stuff like this? But JJ kind of like LeBron to me. He just don't know how to read the room, and that wasn't the time to make that type of comment. You know how many people are upset? You just putting a target on your back at that point for no reason. But that's JJ being JJ. He says stupid stuff pretty often, and it's gonna get through these few years, and he'll be up out of here. Get a new coach. Gonna get him up out of here. Ref gonna be gone too, honestly.
We'll see. We'll see, my friend. Again, some speculate he'll be gone sooner rather than later. But as I told Jay, we're now paying. We're on the hook for him for 5 more years because he just got that 2-year extension. So that's 5 years of JJ where he's on the books as the coach or not the coach. So there you go. It's. I'm sure he's getting paid well too. 4, 5, 7, 10 million. Well, I don't know how much exactly per year basis. I don't even think I want to know. To be honest with you, I'm sure I'll have to find out at some point for this job. But yeah, absolutely, it was disappointing indeed. But before we get to the breakdown of what happened today in practice and the updates on LeBron and Luka and Marcus Smart and Edu Thiero, I wanted to go ahead and ask your thoughts on Giannis Antetokounmpo, who also came up in the news yesterday. By the way. This was kind of actually more important than what LeBron was doing, but word got out that during the course of the summer, I love how the fact that he didn't even remember the owner's meeting with the owner, and the owner said, "Yeah, I had a meeting with Giannis." Like, "Oh, did you? I don't remember." But one of the things that was mentioned that was broken by Shams Charania is that over the summer that there was talks that he wouldn't be opposed to a move to the New York Knicks. And the two sides, they did talk over the course of the summer, but nothing was worked out as of now, which is something they can revisit going forward. And he talked about it today in practice, and I believe Giannis said something similar to, or paraphrasing here again, where he's a Milwaukee Buck for now, and he's going to work as hard as he can, but that he is human at the end of the day, and if he decides it's not going well, will have the human tendency to want to go ahead and play with someone else. Your thoughts on this? I was surprised that it was the Knicks, but obviously Eastern Conference, he sees the Knicks as possibly the number one or number two team in the Eastern Conference. Very interesting that he would choose the Knicks. And what do you think the Knicks would need to do to get him?
Well, I would definitely say I was not surprised on him want to stay in the East. Smart move on that part. But I was surprised it was the Knicks. I did not expect the Knicks part. What I think the Knicks will have to do to make that happen, you're gonna have to give up some of that bench. You're gonna have to give up people like a good bit of your main role players you had that showed up pretty well during the playoff. You still keep Carlton Towns. You still keep a lot of your main pieces. But a lot of your bench players, you're going to give them up. You're going to give up a lot of your draft capital. They're going to ask for a lot. I'm going to say that now. The Bucks are going to ask for a heavy load from the Bucks to make that trade work. And is it worth it? Hey, I'm getting Giannis. All day. Let's go all in. That's definitely going to be an all-in move. We're trying to win the title right now. But will they do it? We're going to see. See in the long run if they do it. If I'm the Knicks, I would think about it. I'm not going to lie. If I'm the Knicks, I would do it as soon as possible because look at the East. It's a mess right now. So take advantage of it. This might be your best shot.
I mean, the Knicks have what they feel is one of the best. And I've talked about this with a lot of people, and I talked about this with Chris LeBron, no relation to LeBron James. Chris LeBron from the Off the Ball podcast, who does a tremendous job covering the Knicks in New York. And he thinks that they have enough as is to get out of the East as the NBA finalist. So with what would be needed for Giannis, would it be an overpay? Do you have, I mean, could that be a possibility of you paying too much and then end up being a lesser team than what you were before?
That is a good point. But the Bucks are going to ask for trucks, cars, Lexus, everything in the book. They don't want every car brand out there, and it could end up dampening them in the long run. So out of the Knicks, I would say, yeah, I would consider it, but you just got to sit down and think about what are you giving up. You're going to give up a whole lot more than just some draft picks and a couple of role players. You're going to give up a lot of depth to add Giannis. They're going to want a lot. So if it was me, I would think about it deeply. I would, maybe consider it, but would I rush to do it? No. Especially if I know that I can take advantage of the East with what I currently have. I might be like, let me play this season out, see what happens. Instead of rushing into it in like February. Go through this year, let's see what we can do. Come back and think about it in the offseason. But I would say definitely beware. If you do this trade, you're giving up a lot. You're giving up a lot of draft capital, a lot of role players. You're going to be feeling the crunch after you make the move. Yeah, you're going to have Giannis, but it's going to come with a cost. You're going to look at that bench and you're going to be looking a little light. And you ain't going to have that much draft capital because you're going to give up a lot of them picks. Because they're going to ask for all them first-round picks. So it's a lot to think about before you make this type of decision. So if I were the Knicks, I would play this season out first and then come back to that conversation. Because I think you got enough to win the East. You got enough to win the East right now. So it ain't no rush to jump into that.
A lot of people do. I mean, again, I think it's right now very much between them or Cleveland, and Cleveland's not starting the season on a good note because they've got some injuries heading into the season as of now. So it'll be interesting to see how the Knicks respond, if they can take an early lead in the Eastern Conference and then run away and hide. But we'll see what happens. What was it that Sports Baby was asked? Giannis wanted to play next to his hero. I don't know. Didn't Giannis want to go next? It was intimated that over the summer he would not be opposed to a trade for the Knicks. He didn't outright ask for a trade for the Knicks. He said, if you were to go somewhere, he wouldn't be opposed to going to the Knicks. I think it was he did not ask for a trade. He wants to stay the good guy in the situation, Legend. He wants to look like, Damian Lillard, who is still revered at Portland. He comes back there, but remember how he, wanted to stay in Portland, wanted to continue on Portland. It wasn't until, he was finally, it worked out where he reluctantly asked for a trade and got the trade to Milwaukee and whatnot. Giannis does not want to look like the bad guy in this situation, because so he's asking for a trade and not asking for a trade. Gosh, I feel like this is LeBron all over again. He's asking for a trade and not asking for a trade at the same time. Because again, he's a good-hearted guy. I believe Giannis is a really good-hearted guy, but he doesn't really want to look bad or upset the people of Milwaukee at the time. But if Milwaukee starts to fade and really starts to look like a mediocre or worse team, then no one will be mad at him if he's trying to look for an out, let's say halfway through the season.
I agree. I don't feel like they'll be mad. I mean, they can't be. I would honestly say they have no reason to be mad. He brought you a championship. He brought you one. He gave you everything he got to this franchise. He stayed with you this long. Heck, he really probably wouldn't leave right now if you had better pieces. So I would think they shouldn't really get upset. And they should be, honestly, you cheer for him. Hey, go do what you got to do. The team ain't got it. This team ain't nowhere near championship. It's going to be years for this team to be back into that point. Don't waste your time. Go do what you got to do. You understand? And I feel like that's how the city of Milwaukee should be. One of my closest friends is a Milwaukee Bucks fan. Even he said, I expect him to leave. And I wouldn't have no problem with that. He brought us one. The team ain't where it need to be. He would do the same thing too. Go to the next situation. Go to the best situation possible. So I hope the city don't get mad or anything. And I can tell Giannis is doing what you said, Gerald. He just don't want to be seen as he's at jumping teams, trying to build super teams, and he don't want to be seen in that like LeBron James like to do, like how LeBron is. So I understand, but I think I've been saying since last year. I think it's time for him to move on. I think it's time. He needs to go somewhere else if he want to have a chance to win. It's not going to happen in Milwaukee.
He's a past 30, so he is now, his athleticism, which was one of his great attributes, as we see with, at that period of time. Plus, he's been on the floor a lot of minutes. He's worked very hard. Had some injuries over his career. It could start piling up. So he sees the horizon ahead, and as far as it possibly being a little bit closer than what's behind, and obviously he might look into that even more. But again, he does not want to. He feels like he'd be betraying the trust of the Milwaukee fan base if he outright said, "I want to go to New York." I was just hoping to hear, and I know a lot of fans out there were hoping to hear that. Okay, if that was the case, and he said, "Well, I want to stay with Milwaukee, but if you guys work out a trade to, of course, New York, of course, Lakers, of course, if he had his list like 2 or 3 or 4 teams, that would have been obviously for us as Lakers fans would have been more woo, but as far as interesting. But yes, what we receive right now with him, it looks like it's New York or bust. Maybe that will change over the course of the season.
It might change as time continues to goes, and while he playing against other teams, he have a chance to kind of look at him while he playing against them and stuff as well. So he have a chance to see other teams, what they look like, and open his horizon. Maybe see, well, hey, maybe I might want to go to, I don't know, Orlando. Maybe I may want to go to Atlanta. Or maybe I may want to go to Oklahoma or something. I don't know. He may open his mind to go other places after you have a chance to really see what other teams are doing. But I wouldn't just focus only on one team. But I will say though, for Giannis, he should try to push out and go win another championship. Because the only thing that I worry about Giannis the most as he aged, as the athleticism started to die down, you don't have to worry about the jump shot. As you get older, that's when the jump shot comes into play to help you stay going strong in your career. But because Giannis is not the best 3-point shooter, when you lose that athleticism, it's going to be a humongous difference what you got out of him, knowing that he's not a great shooter, jump shot shooter like that right now.
Absolutely, my friend. Once again, it is Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. It's me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. It's the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you stopping by. But before we head on out, and I'm going to go ahead and hit up Legend maybe with a little bit more NBA, seeing what his early returns on his teams are all about. I give him a chance to put together some thoughts on Atlanta and GS here in a second. But I did want to update everybody on the latest goings on at Lakers practice because, again, they have the entire week off. Their next game is Sunday against Golden State with LeBron, who is not retiring, apparently. Maybe a little bit drunk or hungover.
Yeah, maybe on the Hennessy.
Exactly. Just wanted to report the very mouthy JJ Redick said Adu Thiero, and of course, Luka and LeBron. All three individuals were a modified participant in practice to this week, focusing on individual skill drills and no live action. Again, Luka Doncic, LeBron James were limited participants. They also didn't partake in live action. Gabe participated in most of the practice. He was more limited yesterday, but he was more of a participant in today's practice. Marcus Smart did not practice today because of an illness. Hopefully it's not lingering. He was doing some of the individual skills yesterday, so we will see how that lines itself up. Again, team is getting a week off. They got a chance to go ahead and partake in the Porsche challenge that Luka Doncic set up for the team. I thought that was, again, nice team building thing that they went and do. Those we have here in Vegas. We have two different driving experiences like that here. So anytime you get to go ahead and do that, I guess again it's not that nice team bonding thing. Gabe mentioned that last month, as far as the court bond, last month he and the guys of the team as another team building thing were playing spike ball and running the dunes in Manhattan Beach. I want to ask you this: when you have teams like this, how important, Legend? Did you go? By the way,
I'll go after this question.
Okay, how important are these team building? Because I was actually on another tab, so I couldn't see. Because I was trying to read the exact quotes on what JJ was saying about the guys' practice. But when you do these team building things, I mean, how much do you think that affects, or how positive is that a thing for these guys when they're together doing these team building things? Wanted to hear your thoughts on that, and then I'll banter a bit while you grab some water, and then we'll talk Atlanta and GS, my friend.
I think it does help out a lot. Just looking at my own experience when I played basketball in high school and a little bit of college, I say it helped out a lot building that team building because it does help with the chemistry, help you develop that friendship type of that you need on the court and help you kind of build that chemistry with each other as well. One thing I've noticed, teams that succeed in basketball, just any sports in general, teams who have that family-oriented environment, teams that they click together. They may not be like brothers or nothing. Like they're like brothers. They almost like family. And I know this team that are like close like that, it helps you do well. So I do think bunning events like that is good. It's good to do. It allows everyone to kind of, I get to know you, you get to know me. We get to have a chance to talk even basketball and really learn about each other outside of being on the court playing. So I think it's important because it can also can help when situations get bad. When things get rough, you're going through a hard season, you lose a couple of games, stuff like that happens. That's when that chemistry, that's when all that team bonding comes into play. It helps get everybody out that negative mindset, get them back onto the positive side. So it pays off pretty good.
Well, lookies who's here. Legend, you will have time to go get your drink because I know that Joe will have quite a bit to say when I ask him this question, my friend. So let me go ahead and get you off screen on that right now. All right. He is here. I know you guys have been asking for his thoughts. I know that Legend and myself have shared our thoughts on our distaste for what was presented yesterday, and then JJ's comments afterwards. So I'm glad he is here to go ahead and share his thoughts. He is the owner of SimBlades, SimBladesWithAY.com. If you need help with a new deal, wherever you're at, as far as in Southern California, for artificial turf, there's no better place to go than SimBladesWithAY.com and the Joe Soro experiment. It is Joe Soro. Joe, rocking the Steelers colors right now. great to have you here. You read what I sent you in regards to JJ's comments. You were there at 9 a.m. in the morning when he posted. Actually, before 9 a.m. He lied even there. That video was already out and about before 9 a.m. when he said it would be there. Your thoughts on this second decision and what a waste of time that this was for everyone out there, and JJ's comments calling us idiots for buying into it.
He called his own players idiots because Reeves and Rui were under the assumption that it might be a retirement speech. I haven't seen the commercial. And we need to give credit to Sean Grice. Sean Grice smelled a rat. I use another word in our chat. I figured rat sounded better, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. And, I mean, it was right out of the gate, too. And it turned out that Sean was right. What this does, when things like this happen, and then you see the reaction from the head coach, we're not looking at head coaches to be company mouth men. I saw Phil Jackson for years troll. I saw Nick Saban be on edge a lot, almost to the point where people were on edge just asking him a basic question. We've seen Bill Belichick monotone his way through 30 years of interviews, and in a lot of ways kind of a dry humor from that. So I'm not asking the coach to be bookworm deliverer. But JJ Redick has already kind of shown his cards even before he became a Laker coach. He disrespected the pillars of the league that he played in. He marginalized an era of basketball that had the greatest athlete of the 20th century on it. He also insulted guys like Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Patrick Ewing, and so on, Hakeem Olajuwon. And I remember Jerry West, God rest his soul, had mildly returned serve on JJ's comments, but didn't really go all in. I think if Jerry was maybe 20 or 30 years younger, I think he might have really went in on him. But you have a guy who was an average player who talks like he ran an era. And now as a head coach, reacts to stupid things in a stupid way. If you're going to react stupid, try not to react stupid to a stupid thing on top of it, because then it just makes you look worse. LeBron James will never not be an irritant. It's his personality. It's an immaturity that I don't think it'll ever go away. And he's not really a professional. He doesn't really speak well. He doesn't really sound educated in any way. So we've enjoyed his basketball skills. We've enjoyed winning with him. But that's pretty much where it stops. It's just a weird spot to be in. It really is. And the focus still doesn't seem like it's towards winning. It's more towards reacting to nonsense. And the two biggest doofuses on the team that continue to do that are the head coach and the quote unquote star player still. And then the reaction would be, oh, why are you taking it so seriously? I'm not taking it seriously. That's the whole point. You guys are stupid. You're clowns. You're a clown. and you keep acting like clowns, and you're about to start a new season, and you want me to respect the clown act. No, having fun is imperative. I absolutely believe in that. Shaq was the biggest clown of them all in terms of Laker players, but when Shaq put his head down, especially for a 8-year window, and of course the best window, which was between 2000 and 2002, I never felt the immaturity. I never felt the nonsense, because he came and he destroyed. And being in the results business, you can play around, you can joke around, you can have your little fun, but if it's at the expense of winning, you're going to get a little bit more kickback on that. So if you're going to do this, you better win. If you're not, then you should go run a comedy store and go do your act there and take your head coach with you. Because apparently that coach sees no wrong with this family, even if the talent that's around it is inadequate.
So, okay, you say you haven't watched the video. Again, it's.
I never will.
Yeah,
I will never watch.
But you know the result.
First of all, Hennessy is a shitty drink. Absolutely toxic, trash, gutter drink.
I guess that answers our question, Kurt, from earlier in the show. We didn't know if you had any or not.
The smell of it makes, and I've drank it. I drank it in college just to be cool, right? But after a while, I just realized it just wasn't gonna be a drink that I was gonna carry myself with. Talking about alcohol and a commercial instead of focusing on winning. I wonder what goes on in the Luka area. Not Luka individually, but the people that are around Luka. I'm sure that they're sitting around at the house or at the office going, we got to wait one more year for this to finish. I would bet my house on it. Play it cool. Don't ruffle any feathers. Let's see if we can squeak a title here in some way. But I'm seeing earmarks of an absolute just bad ending with this group, because they're just not.
So you bet the house that that he's going to be done by the end of this year. And
I have no. I said I bet the house that Lucas people are saying we should. Okay. This is likely going to be done in a year, and don't worry about it. I just don't see how they and no one else will. I just can't see how they wouldn't be doing that. I just don't. It's embarrassing a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're supposed to be excited. We're supposed to be talking, hey, Marcus Smart's got the flu or whatever, and he'll be back in a week. Or, LeBron's not playing the preseasons, which is fine. The less work he has to do, the better, right? So he can be at his best. But no, the discussion is the coach already calling his own people idiots.
Well, that's also a general statement to all of us as well. You guys are idiots for whoever bought into this. That's what
when your third and fourth best players thought that it was going on, what do you say then? Are you calling them idiots? Why would they be idiots? Why would he say this is the second decision and then talk about alcohol, Mr. Role Model? Oh, so he can get his money. Okay. I have to hear that like 10 times from Stephen A. Smith on the radio today. I happened to be going through my channels a little bit, trying to catch the baseball games, and I heard Stephen A. Smith on the Mad Dog channel on Sirius Radio, and I didn't know he had a show on there. I had been listening to the radio a lot, right?
There was a big to do about that,
and everything, and that's the first part. And if I was there to talk to Stephen A, I'd be like, see, that's the problem. Oh, he's underpaid. Oh, he's getting his money. Well, yeah. Well, if you're gonna keep looking at mediocrity as they're trying to get their money, especially when it's coming from somebody whose net worth is $1 billion, you're only insulting everybody out there with that even more. I don't give a shit if he's doing it for money or not for money or whatever. It's a distraction as a Laker fan to winning. He's a distraction to winning, and he has been a distraction to winning. Real winning, not making it to the playoffs. You're not paying him $52 million a year to go into the first round. You're paying him that kind of money so he can make deep runs to the finals or the playoffs. But I'm just waiting for the official transfer of ownership, and then I can kind of get a better idea of what's next.
It's again, just read the room. And again, with JJ's statements that, I feel that was directed to anybody who took the time out of the day, or who the millions of fans around the world that, support LeBron 100%, that bought into this. And as we talked about on the show, Joe, the residual effects, because we talked about how the prices on the Monday show, we talked about how the prices were soaring on that last Lakers home game. Legend, who was on earlier, he was saying that the last Lakers game, the Lakers game against Atlanta, because they only play once in Atlanta this season, those prices were going up. Just imagine all around the league, all the prices for the final home games that they would have against LeBron. All of those prices were going up all around the league, and people were probably buying them at these raised rates, thinking that same thing. And it just shows a lack of respect. You need to take a second to think about what you're going to do and maybe why you shouldn't do it. And I just feel that on top of it, Joe, whether you say calling his own players or just a general statement for anyone that bought into it, JJ saying you guys are idiots. It to me, I think it's a more general statement because of everybody who bought into this, who took the time out of their day to deal with us, who took the time out of their day or took their hardworking money and spent it on a ticket that they didn't need to do because they thought LeBron was actually going to retire on Tuesday, Joe.
I gave him a little bit more credit than I should have, maybe, yeah? I actually thought he was going to announce his retirement.
You did. As Mark, Legend, there was quite a few.
And I'm on record to say that the decision that he got a lot of flack for wasn't something that I thought was a big deal unless you were a Cleveland Cavalier fan. What I couldn't understand at the time was, why is everyone so mad at this guy that's not a Cleveland fan? Are you just looking for something? Kind of like what's going on with Patrick Mahomes right now in the Kansas City Chiefs. When you win too much, when you're too good, the jealousy birds start to come around. They start to nitpick. His wife is, I don't like his wife. Oh, his brother is obnoxious. I'm like, well, what do they have to do with him other than relation? Like, what is what they do have to do with Patrick Mahomes on the football field? Someone who's gone to 5 Super Bowls and gone to every AFC championship game since he's been a starter. So you want to kind of open it up a little bit so that it makes sense. There's a comparison to it so you can make it make sense. The thing with LeBron James is he's an obnoxious, immature, very, very low IQ in terms of the room type of human being. He doesn't have, he's a child. He's very immature. And I have my immature moments on purpose when I'm with my kids, when I'm with my boys. I get that part, and I think it's good to have that. But I will say this. In a million years, I would have never done what he did here for the simple fact of that you had people that went and spent money on tickets so that they can be a part of something, and it turned out to be a lie. And while he hasn't done something like this exactly, he's always done something to be an immature and obnoxious, low IQ of the room guy. When this guy signed with the Lakers, I had never seen a superstar get disrespected as much as LeBron James did. And I was sitting there going, man, it's not just Laker fans that don't like this guy. It's everyone other than his fans. And then you start seeing the cryptic messages, and really the final blow for me is obviously the force feeding of something that should not be ever force fed in a professional manner. You guys saw what the last 2 preseason games were. It's not looking good, and you have his idiot coach championing this. He's the guy that actually can call the shots and for people to play. That's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to do. And we heard it in early summer. We heard it in the summer early in the summer. Rotation? What are you talking about? What do you mean you're going to put him in the rotation? He can barely play. This team needs talent. They don't have time to throw people in there and hope that they can play well. That's not this. This team is not in that position. This team is already lacking talent. They need hope, and they need these guys to actually play better than what they've done in the past, other than maybe Marcus Smart. It's a crapshoot with him. If he can stay healthy, maybe he can just play a little bit of what he was. But everyone else, they need LaRavia to be better. They need Dalton Connect to be better. They need DeAndre Ayton to be better. They need Reeves to be better. They need Rui to be better. Luka's going to be better. We already know that. Luka is going to be a force. And LeBron just needs to be hopefully the same as he was last year in terms of his effectiveness. But the problem with that is he's got to do it with less minutes. He needs to do it for less minutes. How are they going to do that if those other guys aren't improved? Why? Because you're throwing in somebody like Bronny in there, hoping that this guy turns into something. This guy doesn't grow 6 inches between now and November, and can actually get around a screen, make a consistent shot with not only a little bit of hesitation, but also with some traffic. Can he do that? That's what this team needs. And I have a hard time believing he's 6'1". I don't think he's 6'1". I think he's 5'11", because he looks really small out there. I've seen 6'1", Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher does not look like Bronny James. Derek Fisher's 6'1". I've stood next to, not right shoulder to shoulder him, but I've seen him outside Staples or Crip, when it was Staples. He's 6'1". He's legitimately 6'1". I could see it. I was a few feet away. I don't think Bronny's 6'1". He looks like a tiny man out there. So our topic of discussion so far during this media day preseason start is LeBron peddling alcohol as a billionaire, like his idol P. Diddy. And then we have to talk more about his son and his involvement with this stuff. And we have to continue to listen to J.J. Redick patronize and degrade everything around him. What about winning? What are we going to talk about? Does this team have a focus the first month? What do they want to do? How does the schedule play out? Are they going to be better at home? Are they going to be better on the road? This is what happens when you let this is why it's hard to be all in with Jeannie, Rob, and the gang. They enable this. There's no accountability. And for what? Because LeBron James sells jerseys? He just sold the team for $10 billion. What did you need LeBron James jersey sales for? What do you need Bronny James jersey sales for? You're the Lakers. You're the number one basketball team ever on the planet. Remember I told you guys about high class trash? It's usually guided towards the Kardashians. This is what these guys are in this realm. If you took all these guys' money away, they wouldn't be worth a fucking nickel in the real world. A nickel. Maybe a little bit of Rob Pelinka, maybe a little bit, but no one else. I think Rob can get out of the gutter and make something of himself. He's a lawyer, right? But
Yes,
everyone else, the bus boys, Jeannie, LeBron, I mean, he's got once in a lifetime talent. So I guess you could sort of say maybe with him, but what if there's no basketball, right? Again, I'm pulling at strings here. I'm trying to make sense of this, but these are not my kind of people. Like, if all things considered, these aren't the kind of people that I really relate to. Sorry.
So with that, though, it is the Lakers fast break. But before we head on out, Legend, I know you're going to head it out because it's 2:30 your time. Anytime anybody on the East Coast comes on this late, I am so appreciative of it. You Magic Man, you, and then everybody else in the chat that's on the East Coast as well. But before we head on out, I told you I'd give you some time to get you some thoughts. I know that Golden State played earlier tonight against Portland. They've also played against the Lakers, and Atlanta has had, I think, 2 games, if I'm not mistaken.
About 2.
Yeah. As well. What are your thoughts and reads on your 2 favorite teams before we go ahead some final words, and Joe and I will head on out?
I will at least definitely say I've been very impressed with the Warriors. The Warriors have definitely looked pretty good right now during this preseason. Kind of reminds me of last year too, how they started off pretty hot and then they kind of came down to earth. So I won't overreact too much, but the Warriors look pretty good with a lot of their new pieces. Like I said, remind me of last year. So see how they looks when we go into the regular season. And same thing with the Hawks. Hawks got getting their chemistry together right now, but I like what the Hawks got going on, and I kind of agree with what I thought about over the summer. They got a legitimate shot to make something happen in the East with the way it's so wide open. But the Warriors could surprise me and be better than what I think they is. Especially the odd makers really got a high feeling about the Warriors. Got them winning 56 games. Kind of surprised at that. I don't see that part, but you prove me wrong. But overall, I'm impressed with them. They've been pretty gelling. Al Horford like a perfect fit, like I always thought he would be.
Well, there you go. Again, with Atlanta, they are starting Porzingis, so it's great to see him back. Whatever mystery illness he had, I wish he would be open and tell everybody exactly what happened, how he did it. So if somebody has this again or something similar, at least they can have a reference to it. So I'm hoping he'll let us know exactly what went on, or if they figured out what went wrong with him, so they can go ahead and do that. But yeah, seeing him there opens up a lot of things for Atlanta as well.
Definitely does. It opened up a lot of possibility, and I think it might be like maybe our strongest bench that we don't had in a good little minute. So I mean, I think this team is built to do something, and we're gonna see what they got. Trae Young will be playing to get that contract extension and everything. I know his contract talk gonna really start getting more and more up in the air as the season goes on. So we're gonna see what this team made of. It's time for Atlanta to finally get out of it, at least make up for the Atlanta dream for choking against the Indiana Fever. So I'm hoping they can do something.
And last but not least, your Golden State Warriors. Again, a lot of people are saying with the addition of Al Horford, that has really catapulted their thoughts on the Golden State Warriors. John Hollinger, I heard on a show today, noted former GM and writes for The Athletic. He said today he could see them as possibly the second best team heading into the playoffs if everyone stays together and stays well. Do you concur, or do you see something else differently when you watch Golden State?
based off what I'm seeing this preseason, I could see it. I could see that happening. My only question is, because of the age-wise, can these guys stay healthy? That's the part that, to me, is the biggest question. Can we expect all these guys in their 30s to stay healthy? They can stay healthy. Okay, I can see it. I can see it possibly happening. I can see these guys being a whole lot better than what I think. But early, I want to see how the regular season looks. I want to see the first month and a half of the regular season, and that kind of give me an idea what I think of this Warriors thing. But I think they can do it if they can stay healthy. That word healthy is the biggest thing.
Well, there you go. It is, of course, my good friend Legend. Please go ahead and check out the great work that he's doing today with I Got Next Sports Media. Legend's great to have you here as always. I know you got to head on out, but before you do, when is your next show on I Got Next Sports Media?
I am definitely planning to do a show this Sunday to talk a little bit of NBA, talk about a little bit of the Warriors preseason, as well as I want to talk about the big news that came out today about Mr. Bill in North Carolina possibly discussing parting ways. So I kind of want to discuss about that.
So I heard that. Yeah. 2 and 3. All right. It's over. The party's over in North Carolina for him and his girlfriend, indeed. Yeah. So, yeah. And let me know when you want me to hop back on as well, my friend.
I certainly will.
It is Legend. Please go ahead and check him out today at I Got Next Sports Media or whenever he stops by here at the Lakers Fast Break, especially to rant on LeBron. That's always a good thing as well. But Legend, thank you so much, my friend. Get some rest. Get some rest, my friend. Do not think about LeBron one more second in your day.
Oh, I'm not. Him and Hennessy can have fun.
Yes, indeed. Legend, great to have you here. And again, get some rest, and we'll see you soon, my friend. Let me get you off stage right here. All right. So, Joe, it leaves you and I. Before we head on out, this is our daily part of our show. I think we go ahead and smack Best around a little bit. Best League, we do love you. And we appreciate you watching. But you cannot believe everything you see on the NBA site as far as being official heights, because he is buying into the fact that Bronny is 6'3", and because he did that putback dunk the other night, Joe, that a guy only 6'3" could have done that dunk. This is the same NBA that has listed Kevin Durant as 6'11" for all these years, when everybody knows he's 7 feet or taller, but he refuses to be 7 feet. He does not want to be, I guess, superstition or whatnot, be listed as a 7-footer. Anthony Davis, and there's other players as well where they get the height all wrong for either obvious or not so obvious reasons. So your thoughts to Best on the 6'3" Bronny before we head on out. And by the way, Best, Spud Webb won a slam dunk contest for the NBA at 5'6", just to let you know.
When Charles Barkley says he's 6'4", I think he means without shoes and socks. And that might be correct.
And just add on this, Joe, Bronny at the draft combine in 2024. So he may have grown because he just reached 21, I think, yesterday. But he was listed at 6'1" and a half without shoes at the draft combine in Chicago last year.
Did that include his hair?
I think so.
I'm going to take a guess it included his hair. I don't think they smashed his fro when they measured him. It's irrelevant. He can't play. He doesn't belong in the NBA. It doesn't matter if he's 6'1" or 6'3". So I'm going to answer something for Mark before I get back on the LeBron.
Oh, and they want your Dodgers. Mark wants your Dodgers.
I'll mention the Dodgers here tonight, and then get back to the LeBron shit train. The Dodgers couldn't hit tonight. Game was close going into the 7th. Yamamoto hit a bad spell, but it wasn't catastrophic. It wasn't like he got shelled for 6 runs. Dodgers kept it close until the 8th inning when Roberts let Kershaw die. And then you're caught between, he's trying to, maybe he felt this is probably a loss, which he's done that a lot. And then tomorrow, it's an early game too. Tomorrow is going to be likely important that they take it. If Glasnow is pitching a gem between, for 5 to 6 innings, I don't see the Dodgers coming up lame again like this tomorrow. So we'll have to see how this plays out. The blame game, people are insulting everybody now. Muncy sucks. Now Will Smith sucks. The Dodger fan has become insufferable. The Dodger fan has become an insufferable slob, and I don't want to associate myself with those people anymore. Max Muncy had an amazing play in Game 2. He has a couple of mishaps here and there, and then all of a sudden he's the worst guy on the planet. Will Smith has a key 2-run single in the last game. Now he's a bum. It's like, you guys are just pick something that makes sense. Get mad at Andy Pajes for swinging at ball fours all the time. How about that? Something consistent. Don't flip-flop. Flip-flops are exactly that. You're a flip-flopper. You love and you hate just blindly like an idiot. It's probably why all you guys can't find a person that gives 2 shits about you. That's why everybody's getting divorced and all that bullshit, right? It's like, dude, figure it out. Understand context and common sense. Dodgers had a bad night. And the Phillies played loose. They had nothing to lose in a lot of ways. They're like, screw it. We're going to play our hearts out. We're going to steal bases. We're going to double steal. It's either that or we lose. They did all the things right, and the game was still close going into the 8th inning. So they're going to have to do that again tomorrow. I don't have a feeling either way tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'd like to think that I don't see the Dodgers losing both games at home.
We'll see what happens.
And again, I'm going to be very clear on this, guys. I have not seen LeBron's commercial, and I will never see it. And this was planned in case it was bullshit. As soon as I start hearing it was about Amazon or whatever the hell it was, didn't see it. If you're going to complain about things, make sure you don't support it either. You can't sit there and watch something 15 times and then say, yeah, it sucked. Well, you just watched it 15 times. Now, there's a million schmucks just like you that watched it 15 times. Now there's 15 million people that have given this thing credibility. Baseball is all about dealing with failures and how you respond to it. Absolutely, JY. And it turns on a dime. And that's just something that I think has recently sunk in with me. I've been watching baseball for a very, very, very long time, almost 40 years. And baseball is an extremely beautiful game, but it also will destroy you.
Absolutely.
And I'll give you an example. And this is such a sad thing to say, and I mention it every now and then. Mariano Rivera is the greatest closer of all time, at least from what I've seen. And he was the most clutch closer ever. I don't think there's an argument there. There's only 2 games I remember him closing or attempting to close, like in my memory, that pop up right away. And that is the 2001 World Series, Game 7, up 2-1, and he ended up blowing it. And the other was 2004 against Boston, not closing out Boston in 4. That's how cruel baseball is. That my memory is of Mariano Rivera, the most clutch closer in Major League Baseball history. I remember him, and I'm a baseball guy. I remember him for 2 games vividly, and it was the 2 that he blew. How different would history be had he won those 2 games? Imagine you go from 5 championships to 7. That's a different legacy, winning 2 more championships when they're right in your hand. That's baseball. That's how cruel it is. And if you understand what I'm saying there, you'll understand when things flip and you're wondering why. Why is Muncy so smart 5 minutes ago and then all of a sudden dumb 5 minutes later? That's baseball.
Tell you what, though, my friend, we will see. I believe that the Dodgers will win. They'll win on tomorrow. They'll win in Chavez Ravine. They won't let it go back to Philadelphia. They'll get into the NLCS, and
that's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. No one's going to remember Game 3 if they win tomorrow. Hell, no one will remember Game 3 and 4 if they win in Game 5. So, the only sadness tonight was seeing Kershaw continue to add to the horrific playoff appearance that I don't think will ever not define him.
You know what? I hope, Joe, and I know this won't happen, but I hope the Dodgers go to the World Series, and he finds that moment, and then Roberts has to use it, and he finds that moment and comes into clutch. I'm seriously rooting for him if that's the case, and I'm hoping that will happen.
I'm hoping for a clinching game, and he's the last 3 outs. He's the pitcher that throws the last 3 outs, so he can go out.
Let's say they're up like 5 or 7 or 8-1.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I'm somewhat banking on in the future here. Hopefully that's something that there's an opportunity there for Kershaw to go out, much like how Buehler went out last year in the World Series, just closing out the last 3 batters. We'll have to wait and see. There was another question about Colorado Buffaloes. I have to say this because I think I've been kind of thinking about it every time this subject comes about. I think Deion Sanders needs to find something else to do. I think football is killing him.
He's had a lot of health issues.
Yeah. You'd be amazed in talking with dietitians and mental health advocates and psychiatrists and psychologists. I have a network where there's a few in there, and stress is, I think, from what I've heard, the most destructive thing on a human being. Food is bad. Eating bad food is obviously a huge factor. It probably still top 2, right? I say top 2 because I think stress can destroy you worse than bad food, at least from what I've seen in my life. And I just don't know if Deion's ability to stress is manageable at this point. Blood clots, amputated feet. I would implore him to retire from coaching and go back into the booth because it's killing him. And it's not going to get better because he's got the right intentions, but he doesn't command. He cannot command the full respect and win. That is a very hard thing to do in sports. It's just not. He's too eclectic. It's very hard for him to balance, and then the stress, I think, doesn't help either. And it goes back to the LeBron. You look at Shador and how he's in the topic of discussion. Being a quarterback in the NFL, he's not really an NFL quarterback either. There's a lot of similarities with the LeBron thing and Bronny. Shador, if his name was Shador Roberts.
Oh yeah, Shador Rob. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably not even getting drafted. He might be a good backup, sure, maybe, but
he's not even given the number 2. He wasn't even the definitive number 2 coming out of practice today.
And all you're hearing about a reality show now or cameras going, like, this guy's not there to play football. He's there to be a celebrity. His father was struck by the power, the lightning of Zeus in terms of once in a lifetime athleticism. And I don't think he gets enough credit for being the freakish athlete that he was, being able to hit a baseball and play football. And I don't know if I would want my kid to play for Deion Sanders either. Not because I
but
don't
it sounds so good in recruiting, Joe. He's a masterful recruiter.
see that's not that the results don't say so.
Oh, I'm just saying that he, at least that first year, he got a lot of kids hooked in on his enthusiasm.
And what happened? How many of those guys are All-Americans?
Very few.
I don't know of any that came out of Colorado that were All-Americans. I don't know any that were top picks. And that's not fair to say that. It's still early. Maybe he could build something in the next decade. Maybe. But I don't think he's gonna. I don't think his body is gonna handle the stress. You either have to be about it, or not only be about it, you have to get a little lucky too. What's the scenario here? I've seen a lot of great coaches be in areas I'm like, I don't know if that's the right spot for them. And then eventually they do get to the right spot. And then there's some that just can handle anything in any spot. Urban Meyer. I mean, Urban Meyer is a...
Well, Travis Hunter, of course.
Well, Travis Hunter is... It's interesting how Jacksonville's finally kind of gotten over this Trevor Lawrence underachieving thing. They finally have sort of gotten out. I was very happy for them beating Kansas City. I want Trevor Lawrence to be great. And I felt bad for him since he's been drafted. He didn't go play for Andy Reid. He didn't go play for Bill Belichick. He's been kind of in a little bit of purgatory in Jacksonville, but now he has something that's got some legs to it. I don't know what's going on with Travis Hunter. Maybe it's his inability to maybe focus on one thing might be getting in the way. Maybe I think it's time for the Jacksonville Jaguars to say, listen, Travis, I think you need to focus on one thing. This is the NFL in 2025. It's going to be very difficult to do what Deion and Bo did back in the day. Those days don't exist anymore. People,
you're not the only one that's saying that as far as what you're saying on his focus, because there's actually reports and articles about how they think that maybe too much is on the kid right now by trying to do both.
It's admirable. I want to see him do both, but I don't think football is such a hard sport to stay healthy. It's just a hard sport to stay healthy. And then you look at somebody like Patrick Mahomes, who's been dominating the league, starting to come back down to earth. The son of a guns in the NFL will figure you out at some point. We even have seen all those quarterback friendly rules, all those offensive friendly rules. Even that has taken a hit the last couple of years. Even now we're starting to notice, wow, those seam routes aren't as open as they used to. Those go routes aren't as go as they used to. They're not really calling a lot of pass interference. That's part of why I've enjoyed the football season this year. They're not calling those penalties and those game-shifting bonehead, late hits on the quarterback. They're not calling those like they were a few years back. And it's making the sport feel more like football. And I think they should continue to do that. And it makes sense, wouldn't it? Why maybe Mahomes isn't doing as well as he has normally. I mean, what does that really mean? He went to the Super Bowl last year, right? But point is, I feel like football has been football a little bit this year. I just wish they could figure out how to create a bye week for the teams that play on Thursday. The Steelers had a bye week last Sunday, and then they have Cleveland Sunday, and then the Bengals that Thursday. Why didn't they have the bye this week so that they can play Thursday, so they don't have to worry about a 3-day? Like I wish they would figure that out. I don't like games 3 days. I don't like football after 3 days. I think that's horrible for the health of a football team.
Well, we'll find out. But for more on the NFL, the Dodgers, and so much more, please stop by the Joe Soro Experiment or sometimes on our chat right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Jonah Ball, I'm just going to say this. At least they drove Porsches yesterday, and I'll leave it at that. They had a nice team gathering experience driving Porsches. But Luca put that together, so credit him for that. And I like that. I guess he got a Porsche, or someone got a Porsche and put a Luca license plate, Vanny license plate on it. That was cool too. You can check that out on Twitter. Yes, thanks Xbox. I truly appreciate you, Vari, Kurt, and everybody else that stopped by. As far as our mods, always a great thank you to them and everybody else for taking the time out of your day to stop by and hearing us rant about Mr. I want the attention. So I got the attention, and I didn't care who it hurt. I didn't care whose wallet it affected, and I didn't care whose time it took. And I'll leave it at that. But Joe, any last thoughts before we head on out?
Not really.
I think we said all we needed to say on that. So next time we come at you, hopefully we'll come out in better spirits, updates, but just before the Lakers game on Sunday. Don't forget, join us on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break on Sunday for the game against Golden State. And tomorrow, I'm sure Vari will have the game set up tomorrow afternoon for your team and my team, the Dodgers, tomorrow against Philadelphia Phillies. The game that they're going to win. So go ahead and join. Well, Joe, will you be there poking your head in from time to time, or is it just going to be Vari on that?
I may. I don't know. I worked until I got back on the show tonight.
There you go.
I spent half the Dodger game on the phone, and it was good timing considering how bad the ending was. I just couldn't. There was too much going on. There's too much going on. I'm just trying to get to a spot so that we can have the ability to continue to grow everything. And it means being available.
Yes, I got to give a shout out to JSJ as well, also one of our great mods. Yes, all of our great mods, thank you again for all the work that you do. Yes, Xbox, including Vari, who is not here for you to troll right now, so I'm sorry for that, but I'm sure you'll make up for it here in the interim at some point in time in our WhatsApp chat. Or if you guys really want to see them continue their banter back and forth, go ahead and do so during the Dodgers game at playback.tv/the Joe Soro Experiment indeed. So for Joe Soro, yes, 2:30 start time tomorrow, everyone. So remember that for the Dodgers game. Joe Soro, it is me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching and listening. Whether you guys buy Hennessy or not, that's all up to you, but I ain't touching that crap. And it doesn't sound like Joe will be either. And for all of us out there, cannot thank you enough for what you do. Please like and subscribe to get the latest notifications. And don't forget, my team previews are continuing. I've got Alfred Esmond on the way, talking about the Orlando Magic and more coming at you each and every day. We will be back later in the week, most likely. If not, I will see what the status is as well of the Lakerholics. We'll get something out for you guys before the exhibition game on Sunday, most likely. So we'll do our best. Still kind of ticked, still kind of irked, but we'll get over it. We'll do our best to what we can for you guys out there, right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.